Shown here are the Lori Carving 54 and 60 blades. I made a zebra wood handle for the 54, and in this step-by-step guide I'll show you how to add the handle on this Lori Carving 60 as shown in the bottom right. Step 1 is to use a rectangular file to file that bolster so that the blade fits real nice in the opening. The wood I've chosen to use for the scales on this knife are Angelique. Notice it's got some heartwood and sapwood that I'm laying out into the design of the handle to take advantage of both of those colors. Extend the marks on the end of the scales so you know where that opening is that the blade will enter into. On the fence on your router table, make a mark with a pencil at the end showing you how far you need to push in the scale to get the needed length of that recess. Now you can also do this using a gouge and a chisel of some type to make the recess, or you can use a router table like I'm doing here. Step 4, we're cutting out that handle shape. I'm doing it on my bandsaw. You can do this with a jigsaw, or you can do it with a scroll saw if you have one. The bolster will sit up against the end of the scales on your handle, so you want to be sure to sand this flat. There were a couple marks on the bolster from when I filed out the opening for the blade. So I want to be sure to sand that nice and smooth. I'm using a piece of 320 grit abrasive. I'm using a two-part epoxy to assemble the knife together. This West System G-Flex epoxy is one that I've used for a long time and it had great results. I'll add a little bit of acetone to the mix to make it a nice working consistency. And then I'll be sure to add enough of the epoxy into the recess and the rest of the handle before I clamp it together. Don't forget to add a little bit of epoxy where the bolster will sit on the end of the knife. The blade arrived with a little cardboard covering, so I just reused that, taped it in place, so I didn't cut myself during the rest of the knife making process. I'll be shaping the handle using my bandsaw, belt sander, drum sander, and drill press with some flap wheels on it. If you don't have these, don't worry. You can do the entire process by hand. You can use files, whatever you have available. Use that to get the shape you desire for your own knife. I happen to have some mosaic pins available, so I'm going to add them to the handle. If you want to skip this step, fast forward to 7:40. I've chosen to apply a tung oil finish followed by a coat of paste wax. It's quick, it's easy, and it yields some great results. After the wax is dried, you can hand buff it or use an 8-inch cotton wheel on your drill press like I'm doing here.